Hi everyone, I'm Alicia from Green Light Healing. I'm an energy healer and a tarot reader, and this is part 2 about grounding, and I'm going to include some specific practices that you can do to ground yourself, to ground your energy. One simple way is sometimes when you notice that you may not be as grounded as you'd like to be, as kind of sort of calm and yet alert. That's how I like to put it. You can use an affirmation. The one that I was taught by my Reiki teacher is as follows. So if this works for you, then give it a try. I am 100% grounded in full conscious reality. That's it. So just stating that or in, silently to yourself or out loud, or even writing it, sometimes that's enough to kind of bring you back to your center. There are lots of meditations and visualizations that they often involve like visualizing roots going into the earth and that kind of thing. I am including a link to a PDF that you can have a look at that covers grounding and protection and clearing and some simple practices. So take a look in the description and the pinned comment below. Very, very simple stuff that you'll often hear people say would be to touch the ground or be close to the ground. So you could sit on the floor, you could go outside and walk on something natural. Like a lot of people will say, take your shoes off and walk on the grass or on the sand or, in a river and things like that. That's not, practicable in all kinds of weather, but I just feel like going outside and walking in the elements, that can really help. Of course, you can take your shoes off and be barefoot indoors, especially if you've got natural flooring. But, don't worry too much about it. It's just sometimes a lot of it is the intention, right? So touching the floor, being barefoot, sitting on the ground. You can also touch the soles of your feet with the palms of your hands. So you're covering, imagine if this is your foot and then you're covering as much of your foot with your hand as you can. In the handout, there's a photo of this. So what you're actually doing is your palm is touching or covering an acupoint called kidney 1. And that has got a strong grounding effect, especially, what I would do is to hold it for about 1 minute to 3 minutes. So if you're doing your exercise or you're stretching afterwards, or if you're doing yoga or meditation, it's such a nice thing to do at the end. And in fact, a lot of energy healing practitioners and Reiki practitioners, at the end of their client's session, they will maybe hold the client's feet just to ground them and bring them safely back into their body, if that makes sense. I mentioned walking outside. Some of it is actually to do with the exercise. So any kind of movement that you enjoy doing, that can help. I love walks myself. I think, when I feel really spacey and weird, I just go for a 10-minute walk, and that's usually enough for me. And then there are some other things that you can do. You can drink water. So hydration is part of grounding. It's also very nice, if you can do this, to add a pinch of salt to your water. So some kinds of electrolytes can have an extra grounding effect. So you can drink that, or you can bathe in it. So if you put salt, sea salt or table salt, just plain table salt is fine, or Epsom salts in your bath, that's a nice way to help you ground. And it's, some of these things are sensual as well, or sensory as well. If you have a shower, you can rub some salt on your body, but that's not the most appealing way of doing it. Perhaps, going to the seaside if you can, or just drinking the slightly salted water will help. If you don't want to use salt and you have electrolyte products, that's certainly something you can use. There's quite a lot of them out there now. And then finally, sometimes eating a proper meal is very grounding. And so you have to know what works for your body or not. Sometimes if people eat foods that are too light, like too many salads and things like that, they may get a little bit more spacey. Grounding foods typically are things like root vegetables, grains and proteins and things like that, and cooked foods. So if you, like for example, just eating fruit and, you know, sugary things, it's actually quite easy to become ungrounded. And people also don't realize it. I mean, it happens easily. It happens to me as well. One way the one way I work is that I make sure I've eaten something decent before I'm doing client sessions, because sometimes I like just doing energy work will unground me. And that's why I also use these practices very often. I hope that's been helpful. If you've got any questions, please drop a comment below, or you can get that PDF by clicking the link in the description. See you next time. Bye.